Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
To stand or not to stand. Is one required to stand during Chazaras Hashatz, the repetition of the Chazan of Shemana Esrei? Should he stand? Should he sit? May he sit? What's the halacha? So it's recorded in the Shulchan Aruch in the Ramah, chapter 124, halacha 4, or likewise brought in the Alter Rebbe, Shulchan Aruch, chapter 124, halacha 7, that some opinions rule that the entire congregation is required to stand throughout Chazaras Hashatz, throughout the Chazan's repetition. So is the opinion of Agais Menhagim of Tirana, which was in the times of the early Rishonim, and so is likewise the opinion of the Rambam in Hilchos Tefillah 9.3, where he writes in the halacha, everyone stands and hear the blessings of Chazaras Hashatz. The reason provided behind this requirement, according to this opinion, is actually quite straightforward and simple. The whole idea of Chazaras Hashatz is for the Chazan to be mitzi, to fulfill the obligation of Shemana Esrei for those who don't know how to say it. That's the entire purpose of why there's a repetition. And therefore, just as when you daven Shemana Esrei on your own you have to stand, so too you have to stand when the Chazan is, so to say, being mitzi everybody for Shemana Esrei. In other words, that Chazaras Hashatz is considered not just as like the Chazan is the middle of Shemana Esrei, but in essence as if the whole congregation is in the middle of Shemana Esrei, and therefore everybody must stand. The Alter Rebbe then continues in the Shulchan Aruch and gives us over a little bit of an interesting novelty with regards to a halacha written in Hilchos Rosh Hashanah regarding blowing shofar. We know in Rosh Hashanah on both days there's two sets of shofar blowing in the shul. One after Kriyas HaTorah we blow 30 blows, and the second during Musaf. The first is called Tkiyas D'Miyushav, while the second during Musaf is called Tkiyas D'Ma'umad. The first being called the sitting Tkiyas, the second being called the standing Tkiyas. Now why do they have this name? Explains the Alter Rebbe here, as since the Tkiyas in and of themselves don't require one to stand, as the halach is that only the Baal Tekeh, the person blowing, must stand, not the congregation, therefore there's no reason to require standing when the Tkiyas are first blown in their first set after Kriyas HaTorah. However, when they're blown during Musaf by Chazaras Hashatz, everybody has to stand, as we just stated in the previous opinion. And therefore it was called Kiyas D'Ma'umad, the standing Kiyas, due to the fact that everyone stands because of Chazaras Hashatz. Now, not everyone agrees with this approach. Meaning, not everyone agrees that this is the reason why that Kiyas on Musaf are called Kiyas D'Ma'umad, and not everyone agrees that you have to stand during Chazaras Hashatz. Nonetheless, practically the vast majority of Poskim, Ashkenazim and Sfardim all conclude that one should follow this opinion that was mentioned in the Shulchan Aruch and stand during Chazaras Hashatz. So writes Leket Yoshin, Metrumas Hadeshin, Halachas Ktanis, concludes that so is the logical ruling. So writes the Menorah Samar, Shalmei Tzibah, the Makar Chaim of the Chavis Yar, the Chida in Kesher Guda, the Chesed La'alofim, Rav Chaim Falaji in Kaf HaChaim, the Ben Ish Chai. So concludes the Kaf HaChaim in 124.24. The Pri Megadim writes that so was the old custom, and however today, due to our great sins, people sit and talk. So likewise records the Mishnah Berurah in his name. So writes the Aruch HaShulchan, that so is the final ruling, and so is the custom of all God-fearing Jews to stand. So writes the Shulchan HaTorah, and so writes the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, the one who can easily do so is to stand. So practically we see that while in the Shulchan Aruch this was only brought as some opinion state, practically the majority of Ashkenazi and Sephardi Poskim all rule that you should stand. Nonetheless, we cannot ignore the widespread custom of Klal Yisrael, which is not to stand during Chazaras Hashatz. So is the widespread custom amongst the Sephardim, as recorded in the writings of Ravad Yosef Yechavadas 5:11. Even though we mentioned that the Sephardi Poskim of all the previous generations did say that one should stand, practically the minhag was not so. Likewise, even amongst many Ashkenazi communities, the widespread custom is to sit, and this is likewise the widespread custom amongst Chabad, that people sit during Chazaras Hashatz, although some individuals are stringent to stand. Regarding the Rebbe himself, what we witnessed was that the Rebbe was accustomed to sit after Kedusha and would stand up slightly prior to Maidim and then remain standing. So to summarize, while it is promoted and motivated by the majority of the Poskim for one to stand during Chazaras Hashatz, as rules the opinion brought in Shulchan Aruch, nonetheless, practically the widespread custom is not to do so, and certainly those who are lenient have upon whom to rely, and those who are stringent are certainly doing a good thing. Now, even those who are stringent, they need not be stringent on a day that they don't feel well, they feel sick, they feel weak, or let's say Chazaras Hashatz of the high holidays, which is very long. In all those cases, they can be lenient to sit, as right the poskim who concorded with the stringent opinion. Nonetheless, in such a case, say one can be lenient. Likewise, on the opposite case, that those who are lenient to sit must be very careful not to sit within 4 amos of someone davening Shemana Esrei, as it's forbidden to sit within 4 amos of someone davening Shemana Esrei, is recorded in Shulchanaruchharav chapter 102, and therefore they must be careful to look around before they sit down to make sure no one is within their 4 amos is still in the midst of davening Shemana Esrei. This certainly applies to the Chazan, that you can't sit down within 4 amos of the Chazan during Chazaras Hashatz.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.